My name is Jessi Jones. I'm 19 years old. I am Black, Native American, and white. Growing up, my colored races were disregarded. I grew up in a fairly prejudiced, racist area in southern Michigan. I was very reserved and I didn't embrace my different cultures. So growing up, it felt like I wasn't accepted or allowed to participate in. While I belonged to 3 different cultures, I felt like I wasn't received very well in the Black community or in the white community. And my Native American community is disappearing. Moving down to Texas, I had more exposure to people of color, and while I had more exposure, some people of the Black community either receive me very well, they're like, yes, sister, embrace yourself, empower yourself, or they don't like me at all because they see me as like half privileged. And especially before I shaved my head, I had long straight hair, and straight hair is a very privileged hair. I felt like I wasn't allowed to embrace those aspects, or I needed to stay reserved, give them more of spotlight, which I do understand. Like I am being of lighter skin, I am privileged to that regard, but growing up in a racist environment, I didn't feel very privileged. But in comparison to my siblings, my big sister and my little sibling, they both have afro curly hair, so while I was still discriminated against, I was still treated a little better than them. So I have to keep all of that into consideration with the fight towards like being comfortable embracing my Black heritage and being a part of my Black culture as well as other cultures. I feel like I fit anywhere I go, especially by looking at me. You can't necessarily, well, now that I'm bald, my features are a little more exaggerated, so people are like, ah, yeah, she mixed, but I fit in anywhere. I could be Hispanic. People mistake me as Filipino or Middle Eastern or Hawaiian or Brazilian sometimes. Not only do I feel like I bridge that gap by participating in everything, but especially in America, everything's much more integrated. And there's very wonderful positive aspects to that and how people feel more accepted and embraced and comfortable. There are positives to that, but then the negatives would be cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation can be wonderful, especially if you pinpoint some aspects of different cultures that you feel like you resonate with and that help you get closer to who you are and your purpose. But it's important to be educated about other cultures. As a mixed person, I feel even more so of responsibility to be educated, because I don't want to be the culture vulture, if you will, especially since a lot of people take little things of majority. Right now it's Black culture because it's really it's being gentrified and fetishized right now, in which people take those things and they wear them proudly, but they're ignorant towards the culture, and it's a slap in the face of the Black community, because people were killed wearing their hair natural, or putting their head up in wraps, or sent home from school, or fired, or not hired at all. Or it's like you don't want us here, but you want the things that we have to offer. So there's positive and negative. It's just important to be informed, and if you don't know, now you know. So be interested. You have to have a genuine interest in the culture before you take little things that you want from it. Well, not only is this an era of racial empowerment, but it's an era of eliminating the gender imbalance that's been placed for centuries and centuries. There's a huge gap in between. As minority groups get closer to equality, the majority groups feel like they're being oppressed against, but it's not. If you're in the minority and you feel like you're being oppressed against, that's just how big the gap was. Personally, feel like women of color have been through the most oppression and discrimination. Black women, Muslim women they've seen it all. They've been through it all, and that's what I think renders us the strongest humans alive. We're survivors in everything that we've had to confront and conquer. There's this stigma against like loud Black women, too loud, too obnoxious. The dialect that they have, it's ghetto, which is ignorant. because it's these, as well as like the stigma against aggressive Black men, because these cultural aspects have been put in place, and because due to these social constructs that the white man have placed on Black people. And today it's a lot easier to speak up instead of holding your tongue and being reserved, like, especially since Black people, mainly Black women, don't have the right to be reserved. That's a privilege, to not have to speak up, but you still have your rights, you still have your freedom. Black people have to speak up. You know, if you ever see a Black woman on the street, you know, yelling or doing something, you know, my thoughts are, yes, girl. You know, you better get what you get what you want, get what you need, because you're entitled to that.